You know, you type it or you mute your mic and speak. All right, so we are discussing personal branding for personal branding for social media managers. And this topic is so important because it's it is completely useless for you to have all the social media management skills, right? It's useless for you to be so skilled and so professional, right? You know what to do, you know how to get results, but then your potential clients are not even seeing, right? So you know the work, you know the skill, you're a great social media manager, right? You can handle social media accounts for businesses within your niche. But the truth is those guys don't even know that you exist. And I feel like this is where a lot of social media managers miss it, right? So um, this is what we're going to be talking about today: personal branding for social media managers. All right, let's move forward. Good. One thing you need to understand is that everybody has a brand, right? And because everyone has a brand, okay, let me just give you a good example, right? Um, for example, you have different friends, and for each friend, you can easily tell how the person speaks, how the person probably smells like, the outfit the person will most likely wear on a Monday or on a Friday. You can just easily tell, right? Subconsciously. Why? Because the person has over time proven that this is who I am, right? And um, consciously or unconsciously, we are all building a brand. We are all building our personal brand. And that is why it is best not leave it to it's best not leave, just to not leave it just like that, right? It's important that you take control of your brand. You want to define how people would see you. You don't want them to assume, right? You don't want them to define you. You want to be the one to define how they see you. You want to be the one to define what they think about you. You want to be the one to define what your values are. You want to be the one to define, what kind of emotions you leave people with, right? So whether you like it or not, unconsciously or consciously, everybody has a brand. Everybody's building a brand, right? They might be doing this intentionally and they might be doing it unintentionally. But the most important thing or the best thing to do is to ensure that you are building your brand intentionally, right? This is what leads to success, either as a social media manager or as a person in general. Consciously and intentionally building your personal brand. Personal branding is defined as the process of developing, harnessing, classifying personal information, and providing a comprehensive narrative for others to easily understand one's identity. It is the process an individual uses to develop and market themselves to others. I don't know if anybody has started reading one of the books that I shared on on um on the general community. How many of us saw that book? You are your brand. I think that's the title of the book. Let me confirm. By this lady. Sorry, my window is open. Directly opposite the road. um, yes, I am my brand by Ubi Springer. How many of us are still reading it? How many of us have come across that book? Anybody? Interesting. So you mean nobody has opened that book? Not even page one to read. Okay, that's fine. But I'm for the purpose of this class and for the purpose of the personal brand that you're going to be building subsequently, I would advise that you read that book. It's a really good book, and I feel like it captures personal branding as a subject, right? And because it's written by a woman, I feel like many of us here will be able to relate to it. And it's also written by someone who understands the digital landscape. She understands social media, she understands branding, right? So I feel like she's the best person to sort of throw light on this particular topic, right? But anyway, to put it in summary, personal branding is the process an individual uses to develop and market themselves to others, right? You want to be seen as an authority in your field. You want to be seen as the go-to person when it comes to social media management. Okay, can everyone hear me now? Can everyone hear me, please? I need to know that I'm being heard. This place is too quiet.
Yes,
I
I
can
can
hear
hear
you.
you.
All right, great. Thank you. Okay, so you want to be the go-to person in your niche, right? You want to be the go-to person. You want to be the first person that people think about when they're thinking of, oh, okay, I need a social media manager, or I need someone to manage my account, depending on the niche that you're in. You want someone to be able to think of you when a friend or a colleague should ask them, oh, we need to get someone who's going to help us with this. You want to be first place in their mind. And the truth remains that if you are not, sort of like in a way creating that outlook, they would probably never reach out to you. You'd realize that even people that are very close to you would not think of you when they are looking for somebody to handle the things that you already know how to handle. And it's beautiful that a lot of us are starting out, right? The beautiful part of starting out is that you have the chance to work, rework, and keep working on your brand. One thing that I've noticed about social media managers is also something that, personally, I still struggle with is the fact that because you're managing multiple social media accounts, many times you forget that you own you own a social media account, and you should actually take full responsibility for your own social media account as well, right? And I've studied this. I went to a particular digital agency. I can tell you that most of people working in that digital agency are super good. Like, they are really good. You can tell in the work that they do, right? And in the results that they get. But then I checked their personal profiles and I realized that they don't even do much on their personal profiles. They don't talk about the work that they do. They don't put out authority or thought leadership content, right? So as outside of the agency, you might not necessarily think of them when you're looking for, their services, or when you're looking for someone to offer those services, right? Meanwhile, you'd realize that the people that are out there screaming about it, talking about how that they are the best social media managers, telling you that they'll give you all the results in the world, might not necessarily even know the things that you know. But the truth is, they are putting themselves out there. They are putting themselves out there. I can even tell you, some of them might never be managing any brand at all, right? But they are putting themselves out there. And because of that, when people think of, oh, services, they think of them. When people think of social media services, they think of them, right? So it's very important that you become very loud about what you do, but not just loud in the sense of just coming out say, hey, I'm a social media manager, patronize me. No, being strategically loud, right? Being valuable, being very valuable. There's a word like that, but being valuable generally, being able to communicate to your own target audience that you bring so much to the table, right? And that is what personal branding is. Let's move forward. So, what are the benefits of a powerful personal brand? An effective personal brand builds influence, and with it, you're likely to enjoy number one, a steady stream of ideal clients. See, before before you start, getting clients, and it's great to get clients, it's very important. Okay, let me just quickly state this. One of my mentees here, she was talking to me about how that, oh, she's a bit confused as regards a niche that she wants to focus on. Reason being that she's multi-talented and she has so many interests, but she's very interested in finance and technology. So I was like, oh, so that means you're interested in fintechs. She said yes. I said, okay, you know what? Start with this. Don't yet onboard any clients, right? Aside from the fact that, of course, you're working on your personal brand, you're posting on LinkedIn, you're posting on you've opened your Instagram account and you're posting there. Now, I want you to create a mock brand. Now, I'm telling you what I told her to do. I told her to create a mock brand, a brand that does not exist, right? But this time she's acting like she's the one who is, she's acting like she has been employed or she got a client who wants her to manage that social media account. So basically, what I told her to do was create a mock brand, right? Look for a nice name for the brand. Let it be a fintech, since that's the field that you're looking to go into, and you're not quite sure if something you want to do long term, right? So create a mock brand, do all the designs, do the logo, do the brand guide and everything, and then create social media accounts in the name of that brand and start to post like you would post for a like you would post for a um like you would post for a client, right? So sorry, please a minute. Right. So I told her to, create that brand and, start to post on that brand. Now she's doing two things, building a personal brand and also building her portfolio by doing that. Now, at the end of the day, by the time she has built a personal brand to a certain level, those that would notice her would come, like ideal clients would most likely notice her already in the work, right? And then um, and then she already has something, work to show that, oh, I actually have done something, to prove that I can work on your brand, as opposed to she now just looking for clients while she's building a personal brand, right? So she has something to show. She has a portfolio to show that, see, I have results. I've worked on an account that is like, right? So I don't know if you understand what I've said too. If you don't, please let me know. Okay. If you understand, just drop in the comments. I understand. Oh, guys, so sorry. I was talking the entire time and I didn't know that my mic was muted. All right, so some person did not understand. Okay, so we're talking about the benefits of, a powerful personal brand. And our first point is that when you have a powerful personal brand, right, you you would have a steady stream of ideal clients. Why? Because you are building your personal brand, right? Now, I was now saying that as a newbie, as someone who has just come into, the field, how do you prove that you're an authority? Now you're building your personal brand, and people are looking at you and they're like, oh, okay, it seems that this person knows what she's saying. She knows what she seems to know what she's saying, or she seems to understand this terrain, right? Many times they would come and they would ask you, okay, what brand have you worked with? Right? They'll come and ask you, can you give us proof that this is something that you can handle, especially as regards to your niche. Now, I'm telling you how you can build experience while also building a personal brand without going through, the long process of to get a client. And that was why I mentioned the example of my mentee that I told that said she was confused about the niche to focus on, that she has so many interests, right? And she's not talented. But she seems to, want to focus on finance and technology. So fintech, basically. So I told her to create a brand, a fintech brand, right? It's just a mock brand. It does not exist anywhere. And what she's going to do is to create that brand and create social media accounts for that brand and start to post on those pages, like as if she's posting for a client. Now, she's also doing this concurrently as she's building her own personal brand. So now, if any client should approach her, because truth is, as you begin to build your personal brand and you're consistent and you're doing everything you need to do correctly, putting the right content out, positioning yourself correctly, clients will approach you, right? And you do not want them to approach you and then you only have theoretical knowledge. You don't have practical knowledge, right? So now what this would help you do is that the mock brand that you have created is going to serve as some sort of portfolio for you to say, oh, I have worked on a brand like this. This was the result I got, right? Does everyone understand what I have said so far? Does everyone understand what I've said so far? Great, awesome. So yeah, so now I had to say that because yes, when you build your personal brand, clients will come. I can tell you for a client, a lot of people come and they'll ask you questions. They want to know if you can truly do the work because they're already convinced that with this personal brand that you're putting out, or with the personal brand that you're building for yourself, you seem like an expert, right? So you don't want them to now enter your you don't want them to come on an onboarding call with you or come on a discovery call with you, and then you are actually not, giving up the experience that you have said that you have, through the different streams of your personal branding, right? So let's move forward. Second benefit of a powerful personal brand is rewarding partnerships. Rewarding partnerships, right? Having a powerful personal brand, aside from the fact that you get clients, it's very possible that you get to partner with, organizations, people in the industry, not just people in the industry, maybe major conferences. You get all of these opportunities to partner with them. Why? Because you built a strong personal brand. Nobody says that as a social media manager, you cannot influence for a brand or you cannot become an ambassador for a brand, right? It is very possible. Think of it this way. If say you're a social media manager and your niche is finance, right? You are putting out content that is telling your ideal clients that you understand what finance is, right? And that you can build social media and you can build you can build up their social media account such that they would get the results that they need to get, right? Now, the people that would be attracted to you are people that are interested in finance or that own finance companies, meaning that most likely you would have their clients as part of your your followers or your fans or your friends, right? On your list, basically, right? Now, because you have their target audience, there is a very big probability that they would want to collaborate with you. Why? Because you're bringing something to the table, right? You're bringing thought leadership to the table, right? The third benefit of a powerful personal brand is leadership opportunities. Leadership opportunities. You'll be given leadership opportunities, or you have access. Don't let me say you be given. You would have access to solid leadership opportunities. Number 4 is a greater mind share. Number 5 is association with a market niche. You also get, they're able to, when they think of a niche, they think of you, right, to come to mind, right? For example, Stella does this thing called maybe top 100 creators of food, I think at the end of the year, right? Why is it easy for them to pick creators in each niche? It's because those people have been able to position themselves, say that, oh, this is where anything that has to do with health, you just come to me, right? I know what I'm saying. So like a Apoko doctor, you know that, okay, if it has to do with health, he's a creator, yeah, but anything that has to do with health, you can always, count on him, can always back up, because he has built his personal brand in that niche, right? And so many other people like that. So you become associated with a market niche. Number 6 is greater credibility. When you build a powerful personal brand, you become more credible, right? Think of it this way: two people, one that is not known anywhere, right? Person is really good, has a skill, but has never really spent time to, build their personal brand. And there's someone else who just has basic knowledge, is not really the best, but then has spent so much time to build their own personal brand. They've attended, and because they built their personal brand, they've been called to, speak at conferences, not just called to speak at conferences, they've been endorsed by certain brand. They just know the basics, right? For you, you're very excellent, you know what to do, you've been getting results for your clients, right? But then you don't have a strong personal brand. Right now, when one person comes and says, "Oh, okay, we want to work with a particular person, or want to work with someone in the niche that maybe you both are," they would instead go for the person who has a strong personal brand, as opposed to the person who does not have any brand, any personal brand. Do you understand? So it gives you credibility when you build your personal brand. It gives you recognition and prestige. And number 8, you have a higher perceived value. That means they perceive you to be more valuable. Now, how do you create a strong personal brand? Number 1 thing that you want to do is identify what makes you stand out. The key to personal brand, or to building a strong personal brand, is being authentic, right? There are so many, I can tell you there's so many people on social media doing the things that you are doing. There's so many people online doing the things that you are doing, rendering the exact same services that you're rendering. What would make you stand out is your authenticity, because there is nobody, no matter how much they might be doing the same work that you're doing, there is nobody that's like you in the entire world. So you need to identify what makes you stand out, what makes you authentic, right? You need to show up as your authentic self. What makes you different, right? Why should they listen to you? Why should they um patronize you, right? Why should they come and contract you or give you the account to manage? So you need to identify what makes you stand out. What's your value proposition as a person? What are you giving them, right? What makes you different? I can tell you that in the early days of my own of my work as a social media manager, one of the key things that made me stand out was my dexterity with Canva. I can tell you for free, like I said, the first job I got was because my Canva, I don't know if I ever told you guys the story, but I held Canva classes in 2020, right? I was teaching people how to design um, social media graphics design, basically. I was teaching them how to design for their social media account, right? And a lot of people signed up for the courses, and I got amazing reviews, and I kept talking about it. And because of that, someone contacted me and said, "You know what? I think that, oh, you'll be able to handle this." The person didn't even know that I had, some experiences with social media management. What the person saw was my designs, and the person was like, "Oh, Wura, I think that you should, that I think I want you to come on board for this." So identify what makes you stand out. What's that one thing that any day, anytime, if they call you and they wake you up, you are super good at? For some people, it is video editing. Now, it can be anything. It might not necessarily be even, your creative side. It might not be that. For some people, it might be the fact that they are very good storytellers. For some people, it might be the fact that, oh, they know how to sell, right? They might not know how to design that much. They might not even know how to edit videos, but they are very, very good with sales, right? And so by the time you've identified that, oh, it's like anytime I drop a sales copy, people tend to click. I'm able to, instigate action in people, right? You already know that's what makes you stand out. And so what you need to do is to begin to implement that, right? Is to begin to, position yourself as that person that brands can reach out to if they need to get sales in whatever niche that you have, in whatever niche that you're in, right? So identify what makes you stand out. What's the sweet spot around you, right? So you want to know that. Is it that you're very good at shooting videos? Is it that you have an eye for design? Is it that you are a great copywriter? You know how to, sort of string words together, right? What is that? Is it that you are great with relationships, right? And relationship is very key in social media management, right? So is it that you're very good with relationships? Identify what makes you stand out. It can be anything. It can be anything. It can be anything. Nothing is too small or too big to capitalize on. Number two, create quality content. Create quality content. I've told you how to, in one of our classes, we learned how to do content research, right? Now, once you're able to identify what makes you stand out, next thing is you can now start to do content research, based off of the kind of, based off, the kind of personal brand that you're trying to portray. Now, when you do your research, you can take all of those, um, uh, findings that you have and add your personality to it, and use as your content for your social media accounts, right? Now, of course, personal branding spans beyond social media, right? It's also, who you are as a person. When people when you step out, how do people perceive you, right? How do people perceive you? The way you dress, the way you talk, the way you think, right? Your demeanor. Those things are also, a key part of personal branding, right? So, but we are basically talking about, for the purpose of this class, we are basically talking about your personal brand on social media, right? So create quality content. Create quality content. Understand, we already talked about how that is important. Everything that you learned as a social media manager to apply for your clients' social media accounts, you need to now apply it for yourself as a person. So you need to understand who your target audience is. You need to understand what their pain points are. You need to know, what resonates with them, right? And then use all of this information that you have to create quality content such that they are able to, relate to what you're saying, and feel a connection with you. Third, engage with a community. Engage with a community. Don't be a standalone person, right? Don't be a standalone person. Not being part of a community is like you hiding under you hiding under a table or hiding under a bed, right? Because communities amplify you as a person. For example, you belong to a Telegram community of social media managers. Drop your ideas. See, there was let me tell you what usually happens, right? When you show your skill on when you show your knowledge or your skill basically on or in community, or you engage by giving valuable advice, or just dropping valuable content, and just putting yourself out there, you'll be shocked that one day a particular social media manager is overbooked and needs somebody else to handle a client's social media account, or people that are, maybe she has a lot of people, coming to her DM saying, oh, would like to work with you. And now she's looking for somebody else to work with. She will not go for the person that has been quiet on the page or on the community. You go to our community and say, oh, I'm looking for this, that, right? And the person would most likely work with somebody who has been repeatedly giving value on that community, right? So stand out, engage with a community, join communities, that are related to your niche, right? And that are related to the work that you're doing. Join social media management communities, join communities for the niche that you want to focus on. If you are focusing on small businesses, go to where small business owners are. A good community is Niger Branch Check if you're focusing on small businesses. Sometimes engage in conversations, talk, offer solutions, right? Offer solutions. It positions you, it makes people see. They might not necessarily say anything at that point in time, but they see that, oh, this person is always engaging, right? You are stamping yourself in their hearts, right? So engage with the community. I used to laugh when I say a lot of you, on the social media, on our community page, information will come out, you will not react, you will not say anything. And half the time when I put out applications, right? And I'm being very sincere here. This is not, I'm giving live examples because again, you have to be real in these classes, right? When I put out applications, for example, or when someone reaches out to me in my DM, I might not necessarily respond immediately because that name is not a name that I recognize. Maybe the person has not been talking in group chats, or the person does not even attend classes or something, or the person does not just, engage, right? So I might not necessarily even remember that person. And if I might even have seen the name and just be thinking, oh, what is Telegram scammers, right? Same as when, people come into my DM on Instagram. I'll most likely respond to those that I see that engage in the community as opposed to someone who does not even say anything at all, right? So even when we put out applications, half the time I'm looking out for names that I already know, that I already recognize, right? And I'm telling you that it is the same with most people. When you engage in their, see, it's the same with giveaways. They come at the time, yeah, the person with the highest like is a lie. Even me, I've been behind giveaway before. Half the time, I pick based off of someone who has been engaging on our content previously, right? So again, people are very biased towards people that speak out on communities and engage, or speak out in communities and engage. So you want to ensure that you're putting out valuable content. Let me give a good example. How did I meet Priye? I met Priye on a social media managers community, right? And she was always posting tips about Facebook ads. I can tell you for free, there are other people on that same social media management group that are into Meta ads, Facebook ads, and they might even be better than I don't know. But Priya was always putting out content, answering people's questions on anything that had to do with advert. And so it made us stand out. And so I remember also I wanted to become better, at doing, Facebook adverts and better ads and all of those things. And so I bought a course and it was really, really good. And almost immediately I sent a message. I was like, oh, hi, would you be interested? I'm working on a program for this, that. Would you be interested in coming on board to train members of my community on Meta ads? And she said yes. And I can tell you, if it could also have been somebody else who wants to give her, say, ₦1 million for a speaking engagement outside of the country, right? This is how people identify, other people, right? So when you engage with the community, you're creating a strong personal brand. You might not see the results immediately, but consistency. And that's number 4. Number 4 is consistency. I told myself something. Excuse me, for those of you that see my WhatsApp status, not many people here see it, but for those that see my WhatsApp status, I told myself that it's funny how that I can post 2 times, 3 times for a client every single day, right? I'm very consistent with, helping my clients do this, helping my clients create content, helping my clients research and all of that. And then when it comes to my own personal account, I'm like, I beg. Later, I will do it, right? So I made a commitment that, you know what, I am going to intentionally put so much effort into please, you this is not the nice to laugh, I beg. So I'm going to put so much effort into ensuring that I am posting every single day on my social media account, and I am loud about what I do, right? So if you see me posting, like today, I posted 3 times. Thank you. It is intentional. I posted on LinkedIn, I posted on Instagram, I posted on Facebook. It is very intentional. Why? Because I know that I know my onions, right? And I know that, of course, most of my clients have come through referrals. And because of the kind of field that I'm in, of course, I cannot possibly talk about, I can't possibly talk about the clients that I work with. But then I decided that, okay, you know what, as opposed to positioning myself as an authority in, say, social media management and I will still work on that, right? But it's going to be a different way. Now I'm talking about my personal brand. Now, as opposed to me, position myself as somebody that, celebrities, personal brands, lifestyle people can come or female executives can come and, take my services. I can as well position myself as someone who is championing women empowerment by providing social media management trainings to women in Africa, right? And truth be told, that is what I'm even more passionate about. That is what I want to be remembered for, as opposed to just being the social media manager next door. I want to be remembered for the legacy, that I have built in social media management, right? So the content that I'll be posting now would speak more to social media managers as opposed to speaking to my ideal clients. But guess what? It is also a strategy, right? Because when I am speaking to social media, at least if you know that I am training social media managers, it should tell you something. It means that I know what I am doing. It means that I understand my the terrain, right? So definitely by doing that, I know that clients would reach out to me. And if there are people I want to work with, fine, I'll work with them. If not, I can always pass them on to the community and say, hey, is there anybody here that'll be interested in working with so brand? Right? So it's also my own strategy of building a strong personal balance. And I made up my mind, I said, you know what, this consistency thing, I'm going to hack it and I'm going to, take my own personal brand more seriously. The same way I will take that of my clients. So I'm treating myself as a client now. That's what I've been doing. I'm treating myself as a client. It's not easy. I can tell you that today I was burned out at the time. I was not feeling too good. Because I was, stuff just happened with my stomach and everything. And I'm like, God, how will I do? But then I told myself, if I had a client that was banking on me to make a post go out, to make two posts go out today, I would do it irrespective of whatever pain or discomfort that I am feeling, right? So I told myself, I will treat myself as my client. And I'm putting that out to you as well. Treat yourself as your client. You know the level of accountability that you have when you know that if you don't post content, money might not come that month, or your clients might sack you, or you might receive, if you're working with a corporate organization, you might receive a query. That's the same consciousness that you should have when you are putting out content on your own social media on your own social media accounts, please. So consistency is important, and I think that's why I had to sort of like structure our inner circle offering. So typically, the inner circle was supposed to be just a personal branding class, and it was going to be a recurring thing. So every month would, talk about different topics as regards positioning yourself as a social media manager. No. But then I thought to myself, really, what's challenge? What's one major challenge that most social media managers have? Most social media managers don't know where to start, right? So they open their social media account, and you'll notice that if you check the social media account of many social media managers, their content is most likely the same. How to effectively to build a brand that will grow. You can know that everybody is doing right. So what we are doing in the inner circle is we are having an 18 days called the SMM launch challenge, right? The social media managers launch challenge, right? And basically what we are doing is, aside from the personal branding trainings that you would have, we are also going to be doing an 18-day LinkedIn/Instagram challenge. So basically you'd receive prompts every day on the WhatsApp group chat for what content you should post for that day, right? I'm thinking that it is best that you receive the previous day so that by the next day, content is out. So, of course, so you receive content basically for every day. You receive a prompt for every day on the social media post that you should be making on that day. And the goal is that by the end of the 18 days, you should receive visibility that would help you land a client, right? Now, the perks there, one of the perks there is that everybody, right, would be engaging on everybody's post. So if, for example, one person should post, the remaining 99 would find engage on their post. Same way, every other person is engaged. So that you like and comment on everybody's post, even as they're doing the same on yours. Now, what would that do? That would help the algorithm push your content to your ideal client, right? So, and of course, give you track record that indeed, you have people engaging on your content, right? So it should be hashtags, proper hashtags research will be done for you. Of course, I will not create the content for you, but I will give you prompt on what content to create, the hashtags to use, sort of pictures or creatives or designs to you should use, and stuff like that. And also you get trains, and then it's in 2 tiers. The first tier is the 7,000 naira one that comes with the challenge, the personal branding training, but does not include templates. But 10,000 naira tier, which is the second tier, includes templates, right? Templates for onboarding your clients, right? These are the same templates that I also use in onboarding my clients. So for those that would be paying 10,000 naira for that class, they would get those templates. But 7,000 naira people would only get the 18 days challenge and the personal branding training, while the 10,000 naira people get all of that plus the templates. Okay, Tomi Thomas, this is the first time I'm seeing this class, but please go ahead and unmute your mic and speak.
Hello, sorry. Hello, good evening. Can you hear me? Hello?
I can't really hear you.
Hello?
Your voice seems to be low.
Can you hear me?
Line is breaking.
Hello?
No, you won't be renewing every month. It's one time. Only if you want to keep
Can you
attending the challenge. We can hear you, Tommy.
Okay. I'm always joining the classes, but I don't usually talk.
Thank God you're
I
talking
wanted
today.
to ask, there was a previous class.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There was a previous class where you were teaching us how to is it do content research with Instagram and TikTok, but I cannot find the video of that class, that particular class. So I wanted to ask about that one.
Okay, so I'm so sorry about that. It's true. I don't think that no, wait. I did. I think I uploaded that content. Please check the YouTube channel. It's there. I uploaded that content. I remember. Please check the YouTube. Are you sure? I remember uploading the content. Okay, so I'm gonna upload it tomorrow. Please remind me on the group chat. I thought I did. Okay, so I was saying your voice is breaking. Please, can you type the payment stuff? Please, can somebody who heard me properly help to type the payment information? But let me just send you. I'll send you the link so that you can just go and check it yourself. I think that link is correct. So you can. I just dropped the link in the group chat. You can in chat box, so you can read about it. Anyway, let's move forward. So consistency, and lastly, collaboration. Collaborate, because not everybody is competition. Not everybody is a competitor. Learn to collaborate. If you want to build a strong personal brand, you need to learn to forge connections. It is so important. A lot of you, yeah, I just keep, there are over 400 people on that community, just the cohort 2 community alone, right? How many people have you actually started a conversation with? How many people have you said, okay, you know what? Let's do a post collaboration on Instagram, right? You bring your content, me bring my content. Let's join it together so that your followers will see what I am doing. And my followers will see what you are doing. They can follow you as well, right? Collaborate. I've not even seen anybody saying, oh, let's go live together and talk about some of our learnings, right? Collaborate. Don't be scared to collaborate. It's not just copy it if it's not clickable. It's best to collaborate as opposed to competing. And I noticed that as women, a lot of us can be very competitive, right? And it's the reason why a lot of men, or should I say a lot of guys, you notice that they usually go further. Now, it doesn't mean that we are not good at what we do. It's just that they've been able to understand, the psychology of collaboration. Before you see any two men competing over something, it's funny, right? You had the same thing with women, right? You will not see two men fighting. I don't think I've ever seen two men. Well, of course, there's always an exception, but I don't think I've ever seen two men throwing blows because they want to date a woman, or because they were both dating a woman. At the most, one person will leave for the other person, or they will both break up with the person. But you see women, Two people will be dating one man. The man is the one that is doing them, but it's the two women that will be fighting against each other, right? And I understand that yes, sometimes it might be I don't think it's an inherent nature thing, right? But I mean, maybe that's the way society has sort of fashioned some people. But my point is collaborate, right? Collaborate with people. Collaborate with people. Collaborate with people that are um that are relevant to your field. It does not even have to be a fellow social media manager, right? It can be just somebody who's in your niche, right? Who talks about things that you talk about, right? It might even be a business owner. Collaborate, right? There's so many ideas that you can come up with, right? Who says that you cannot collaborate with the Social Star Initiative to train people that you have direct access to, right? And then it will be that you are the host. That way, it positions you as a thought leader. You might not know it, but it positions you as a thought leader, right? Who says you cannot reach out to brands and say, oh, you know what? I want to do this, this, and this, and this with you. How possible is it? Right? So, if you want to build a strong social brand, you need to be a collaboration freak. Permit my phrase, but you need to be somebody who's open to collaborations, right? You cannot be a mountain that stands alone. You must collaborate with other people, basically. All right. Be vocal about the value you bring to the table. Can I say something, guys? Can everyone hear me? What I'm about to say is very important. So if you can hear me, please unmute your mic and say, I hear you.
I hear
I
you.
hear you.
I hear you.
Awesome.
Can I
Awesome.
hear you, Coach?
Awesome. Good. Now, be vocal about the value to bring to the table. See, I have come to understand that in corporate world, now this is me speaking from the little experience that I had working in corporate world, right? Do I still work in corporate world? Fairly. But because I freelance, it's not corporate, right? You would have two people, male and female, doing the exact same thing in their office space, right? And then you see the guy standing up to say, I did this, I did that. It was me who looked into this and I got this result. Guy is talking and is dropping facts on the table. He might not even have been the one who did most of the work. Maybe you were even the one who did most of the work. But guy is taking all the credit, saying, oh, I did that, and it brought this. They are so quick to talk about their value. But you see women, and see, a lot of people in corporate world talk about this, how that women many times, and I understand it because sometimes when a woman starts to talk about what she brings to the table, she's perceived as proud. But that's not it. Guess what? It is those people that are talking about what they bring to the table. They are the ones getting all of the opportunities. Go and check. How many times have you seen somebody who has been quiet, does not say anything about the value that they bring to the table, and then they are the ones getting promoted? No, they're not the ones getting promoted. They're not the ones getting well paid. A guy might not even have all the qualities that you have. He's probably charging times 2 of what you're charging, right? Go and check interviews. A guy would interview for the same role that you're interviewing. You call, they'll say, how much is your salary expectation? You call times 2 of their most. And it's the reality, right? So if in case you did not know, this is me giving you a wake-up call, right? To be very, very vocal about the value you bring to the table. And it starts with the little conversations that you have, right? The conversations that you have with your friends. Some of you are here, you think that is your friend that is doing you a favor by being in friendship with you. Of course, yes, both parties are bringing some value to the table. But some people are thinking that it's one-sided. You think that, I'm not doing so much. This my friend is the one that is richer than me. This my friend is the one that sponsored our distance. This my friend. But you're not aware that, what about the advice or the counsel that you're bringing to the table? What about your presence, right? I'm just using this as an example because, I mean, a lot of us can relate to it, Right? So be very vocal about the value you bring to the table. Like I said, once you've been able to identify that one thing that makes you stand out, talk about it. Talk about it. Talk about it times 1 million. Talk about it. Like, don't let anybody rest. Talk about it. Talk about it. Talk. Create stories around it. Talk about your journey. Let everybody know how far you've come. Do you understand what I'm saying? So be vocal about the value that you bring to the table. Don't feel like, see, they will not say I'm proud. They will not think that it is me boast. No, nobody's thinking it. Everybody loves a confident person, right? So be vocal about the value that you bring in to the table. All right. So do we have, no, don't have pre-graduation yet. Do you have any questions? Sorry, the next slide is happy graduation. So, but you guys have not graduated yet, so I'm not going to do that yet. But do you have any questions? Yeah. Okay. So this class must have been a really good class since nobody has a question. Okay, Blessing, please go ahead and ask your question.
Kochura, good evening. My question, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, my question is not about this class because I understood everything. My own is the inner circle. Is this community going to just be like a 1 month thing, or is going to be there for a while? Are going to be like renewing our membership every month? I really want to understand it first.
Oh, no, you're not renewing your membership every month. It's a one-off class. You're not renewing membership. Only if you want to join the challenge again. Maybe the first challenge, something happened, the story, you know how people can be. They come up with stories and say, oh, I was able to with the challenge, so I want to, or maybe you had so much results you had so much results in the previous challenge and you want to join next challenge. But essentially, it is one-off. You do not have to keep paying for anything. It's one-off. Have I answered your question?
Yeah, you have answered my question. Thank you.
Okay, someone has something to say. Please go ahead and unmute.
Good evening, Coach.
Good evening.
Good evening, Coach.
Good evening.
Okay, I don't want to ask any question. I don't want to ask a question. I just want to say thank you for all you've been doing for us, for taking out time despite your schedule to teach us. Thank you so much for this class. It's really a blessing. This is the first time I'm joining a class online, and I've learned like so much, or met someone who has committed so much time and energy into teaching people for free. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the effort, the giving us this opportunity. I'm so grateful. God bless you.
Thank you so much for thanking me, and thank you for attending most of the classes. I'm not sure if not all, but thank you for attending. I'm always seeing your name, Excellence Asoko. Are you Ghanaian?
Okay, bye. Love you.
Did you hear the question I asked?
Okay, you said something. Sorry, I didn't get that.
Yeah, I was asking if you're Ghanaian.
Sorry, I didn't hear you, ma'am.
Are you Ghanaian? Your surname? Are you from Ghana?
I'm Nigerian. Nigerian. I'm from Cross River.
Oh, amazing. All right, thank you so much. Okay, please, ma, how do newbies like us build our portfolio? I already told you, I gave a tip earlier during the class. I said you might want to start with a mock brand, just in case. So it's two things. Number one, you can create a mock brand and start to build that brand on social media, right? Number two, You can intern with an organization. Those are two different ways to build your portfolio. I would not advise, except you have some sort of experience, I would not advise that you start parading yourself as a professional when you've not done any actual social media management job before. So it's one of two things: create a mock brand, build that brand on social media. This time, nobody's policing you. Nobody is telling you what kind of content are you putting. Can you do this? Can you do that? No, you are the one looking at it. You are the one, studying the brand, seeing what's working, implementing all of your ideas. So there's no pressure, right? Or you can intern with an organization. So any of the two, either internship or creating a mock brand. Can we join the inner circle later if you can't join now? Yes, you can join the inner circle later. As a matter of fact, we are starting on the 22nd of April, of all things being equal. That's exactly 11 days from now. So you have 11 days, right? To, if you want to start, want to join, you have 11 days to sort of like prepare. Okay, please go ahead and ask your question.
Good evening, Coach Rora. Thank you for this class. It has been so insightful. Like, I can never say enough how much impact I've gotten from this whole boot camp. I appreciate you so much. So for my question, do you have any tips for someone who is like struggling with imposter syndrome? How to like build their personal brand, or like just maybe any advice basically for someone who just has this drawback attitude, but they know what they are doing, they know their onions, they want to put themselves out there, but it's just so difficult because of probably perfectionism, fear of okay, what ifs and all of that. So that's my question.
Okay, so imposter syndrome. Ha. Okay, so I mean, I'm going to talk from two different angles, right? First angle, spiritually. Second angle, as a person, right? So let me start with as a person. Now, one thing that I've realized with dealing with imposter syndrome is whatever your fear is, whatever it is, face it and do exactly what your mind is telling you not to do, or your fears are telling you not to do, right? The idea of imposter syndrome is you're feeling like, I'm not this thing. I do not deserve to be the one saying these things, right? I don't have that much experience. Sorry, I'm in another meeting. Let me just mute. All right. So syndrome is you're feeling like there are other people better than you that should be saying the things that you're saying, or that should be doing the things that you're doing, or that should be putting out the contents that you're putting out. You're feeling like, oh, I don't think I'm good enough to be saying these things. You are good enough. Tell yourself that, period. You are good enough. It is, if they don't hear it from you, they might not hear from anybody else. You are the prize. You are the value on the table. You are bringing so much to the table, right? So you just need to face. And see, if you not start, if the problem is perfectionism, if you do not start, then you will not reach that level of you will not reach that level of looking at your work and saying that, oh, okay, indeed I have gone on a journey and now I am here and I can see the process. See, let me tell you something. This thing affected me. Half the time, I didn't want to put out content because I felt like, I have 8 years of experience. If I'm going to be coming out, to put out content, it has to be fun. The first content that I put out should give me 1,000 likes, right? So for the longest, I'm like, I beg, let me put out this content that I want to put out because it might not be as hot as I want it. And so if I knew it 4 years past, I wasn't really putting out content, for my personal brand. I'm telling you all of this because I do not want you to make the mistakes that I made, right? And see, every single time in social media management and in social media or in the social media space, there is always an opening. One of those openings was 2020, right? And those people that took advantage of 2022 today have become thought leaders. They did not have, see, if those people put the same effort they put in their brand in 2020, if they had put it in 2019, they probably would not have gotten the result they got in 2020, right? But they didn't allow imposter syndrome. They took advantage of the fact that people were at home, were consuming content, and they were lacked on that opportunity. And truth is, there are always periods like that. We are in another period where people are actually consuming a lot of content, right? And you need to key into this period, right? So don't let imposter syndrome stop you. There's somebody outside that is not even as good as you and is putting out content. Put out the content. Don't let it look somehow. At the end of the day, when you're telling your story in the future, you have something to refer to, and you'll be able to say, "Oh, guys, I this was me 2 months ago. This was me 5 years ago. This was me 4 years ago. This was the kind of content I put out 3 years ago." I don't know how many of us follow. I love Salem King so much, right? And I remember from time to time he would bring out what some of his contents from a long time ago, right? And you're like, why was Salem so slim? What was Salem saying here, right? But the truth is, right? Thank you, Ife. But the truth is, it started from a place. He did not just become chubby Salem with plenty of money and thought leader just because it started today. No, it did not start today. So you need to start. No matter what the content looks like, no matter what your designs look like, they might even be lame, right? But start. Now, speaking from a spiritual angle, because I'm a very spiritual person, I love Jesus, I love the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit guides me. I'm sorry if you do not like what I'm saying, but I'm not sorry again. But I have also come to realize that studying God's word helps me understand my identity, right? So even times where I feel like where I'm feeling like I'm not enough, I remember scriptures. The Holy Spirit begins to whisper scriptures to me, and it changes how I think at that moment. So immediately when I remember those scriptures, I speak them out, and it leaves. Whatever I'm feeling at that point in time leaves, right? So I just, I mean, if you're a Christian, it's something that I think that um, that can work for you, right? Just basically meditating on scriptures, speaking out, those scriptures, and also listening to the Holy Spirit, because he speaks to us. He wants to have a relationship with us, engaging your relationship with the Holy Spirit. Let him speak to you concerning certain aspects of your life. All right. So was that helpful? I think someone asked the question. Okay, so what I was saying about 11 days, the challenge itself is starting on the 22nd of April. What that means is that you have from now till the 21st to make payments if you're interested in this batch. But if you're not able to make it for this batch, then you have to wait for the next batch, which I don't know when it's going to be. The next batch is going to be after 2 cohorts. So we're going to have cohort 3 and cohort 4 before we do the next batch. Yes. So I hope I've been able to answer all your questions. Olayinka, afterwards, after the 3rd and the 4th cohort of TSI, after the 3rd and 4th cohort of the social media management bootcamp, that's when we'll be having the next challenge. Yeah. Oh, okay, that's fine. Don't worry, you can enter into my DM for any of your questions. Please feel free to send me a DM on Instagram. If I'm unable to respond immediately, I will respond eventually. All right, so at this point, in the absence of any question, I would call this round up so I can join my other meeting. All right, thank you very much, everyone. Have a beautiful night rest. If you have any more questions, please send me a message. For your attendance, please type TSI 2.0, TSI 2.0 on Telegram right now. TSI 2.0. I'm writing to group chat. Type it on Telegram. Thank you so much. Good night, everyone. Good night, Cherry.